All right, so today we're diving into something pretty interesting. KidzKDP.
KidzKDP. Yeah.
It's this AI tool, and it's all about making and publishing those children's books.
Yeah, children's books. Huge market.
Huge, right? Like we're talking a $237 billion market.
Yeah, it's massive. And the thing that really stands out with this KidzKDP thing is it seems to be focusing on low content stuff.
Yeah, the coloring books, activity books.
Exactly, like coloring books, activity books. And those are appealing for a couple of reasons. One, they usually require not as much writing.
Definitely. Less writing, less design work.
Exactly. Less design. So it's a big advantage for people who are new to this whole self-publishing thing.
Makes it a lot less intimidating.
Yeah, way less intimidating for sure.
Like, I know I'd be intimidated to just jump into writing a whole story.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But coloring books, seems a little more approachable.
Yeah, and it's even more impressive when you consider, like, the person behind KidzKDP is, like, this young entrepreneur.
Yeah. I saw that. It's pretty inspiring to see, like, someone so young using tech in this way.
It really is. And speaking of tech, one of the big things KidzKDP talks about is this AI keyword research.
Right, because you need to find the right keywords.
Oh, absolutely. Keyword research is, like, the foundation in any online marketplace. But, like, in self-publishing, it's super important. You need to find that sweet spot.
Where there are readers, but not a ton of competition.
Exactly. Demand, but not too much competition. And that's what KidzKDP says it does.
Yeah, from what I read, like, their AI actually looks at the data from Amazon.
Oh, wow.
It finds keywords that are, like, trending, but they're not oversaturated.
Smart. Saves you a ton of time, right?
Huge time saver.
And it's not just finding those keywords. KidzKDP also says it can, like, actually generate the content for the books, too.
Yeah, so you could, like, create a coloring book, an activity book in minutes.
Yeah, imagine that. All thanks to AI.
And there's even, like, an AI-powered cover designer. That's big, because hiring a designer...
Oh, yeah, definitely. So having that built in, I mean, that makes the whole thing so much more, like, accessible.
And it doesn't just publish on Amazon.
Oh, well,
Apple Books, Google Play, all those.
Oh, that's smart. That expands your audience, opens up more sales channels.
Exactly. And, one reviewer actually said they made over $5,000 in a couple of months.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah, making these educational activity books.
That's impressive.
And they said they had, like, zero experience with publishing before.
Wow. So they attributed their success to how easy KidzKDP is to use.
Yeah. And how effective, like, those AI features were.
That's really encouraging,
Yeah.
But it is important to remember everybody's experience is going to be different.
Of course.
Right. Like, success in self-publishing, it depends on a lot of things, like what niche you pick.
Yeah, your marketing, the quality of the book itself.
Exactly. So, it's not like a guaranteed path to riches or anything.
Right. But it sounds like KidzKDP could at least, like, simplify things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It could definitely give you a head start.
Definitely. And speaking of getting started, the price is surprisingly low.
Oh, yeah. How much are we talking?
Only $17.
Wow, that's like way lower than a lot of the software we've looked at.
Right. Makes it accessible to a lot more people.
It does. That low price, honestly, it kind of made me wonder how they make money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it turns out there are some upsells.
The OTOs?
Yeah, the OTOs. Those one-time offers, they give you extra features and resources.
We don't get into the details of those right now.
Right.
But it is something to be aware of if
Yeah.
you decide to, look into KidzKDP more.
Absolutely. It's a pretty common strategy, Offer that attractive entry point and then present, like, more options for those who want to do more.
Exactly. Now, we should probably talk about the whole, AI-generated content thing.
Yeah, the elephant in the room.
Yeah. Is it going to be generic?
It's a valid concern for sure.
But we have to remember, AI, it's a tool.
It is. It's like, think of an artist using a paintbrush.
Oh, yeah.
The brush itself doesn't make the masterpiece.
Right. It's the artist.
It's the artist's skill, their vision.
And with KidzKDP, the AI might generate, like, the initial content,
Yeah, the base.
but it's up to the author to make it stand out.
Right. You got to add that personal touch, make it unique.
I saw some reviewers saying they use that AI content as a starting point.
That makes sense.
Then they, like, customize it,
Yeah.
to reflect their own style.
Yeah, you can add your own illustrations, tweak the wording, maybe even incorporate some of your own experiences.
Exactly. Make it truly your own book.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance, between
Yeah.
the power of the AI and your own creativity.
So if you're intrigued by what you've heard about KidzKDP, We've got a link in the description.
Yeah, check it out.
You can find out more, see some examples of the books people have created using it.
Definitely worth exploring, especially if you're looking for, an easy way to, dip your toes into this world of children's book publishing.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the next KidzKDP success story.
That's right. So one thing I noticed in, one of these sources is that they talk about this consistent demand in the children's book market.
Yeah, makes sense. Parents, educators, they're always looking for, new books for kids.
Yeah, there's always a new generation ready to, explore the world through books.
Exactly. And the source was saying, KidzKDP makes that whole process so much simpler.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your tech skills are like, you can still create and publish.
So it's taking advantage of that demand, basically.
Yeah. They actually called it incredibly user-friendly.
Oh, nice.
Said the AI handles most of the work so you can focus on, the creative side.
Yeah. That definitely sounds appealing, especially if you're, not super tech savvy.
But then another source, they kind of had a different take.
Oh.
They were more focused on the content,
Right.
maybe being too generic.
I see. Yeah, that's a valid concern.
They showed some examples
Oh, did they?
of the coloring books made with KidzKDP. And yeah, the graphics were cute, kid-friendly, but
But kind of similar?
yeah, they were missing that, unique something,
Like spark.
Yeah. But here's the thing. They also said that, yeah, maybe the initial stuff is kind of generic,
Right.
but KidzKDP gives you the tools to, customize.
To personalize it.
Yeah, so you can add your own touch.
So it's more like a foundation.
Right, and you build on it.
Add your own, creative flourishes.
Exactly. And I think that's really important to remember.
Yeah.
AI is a tool at the end of the day.
It is. It's the human creator still has to bring their own personality, their own style.
We also found this blog post, and they broke down all the different features KidzKDP has.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty impressive. So, we talked about the AI keyword research.
Yeah, and the content generation.
Right. But they also have this niche category finder.
What's that?
It helps you find these profitable, subcategories within the children's book market.
Oh, interesting. So it's all about finding those, little pockets of opportunity.
Exactly. Where there's demand, but not a ton of competition. And then there's a puzzle book creator, an activity book creator, even multi-language support.
Multi-language. Wow.
Yeah. So you can reach a global audience and a competitor analyzer.
That's pretty cool. It sounds like they've really tried to, create this all-in-one solution.
They really have. But I was curious about what people are actually saying about KidzKDP.
Real users. Yeah.
So we found this one review, and they called it a game changer.
Wow.
They said it was so efficient for finding those profitable keywords,
Yeah.
and just streamlining that whole publishing process.
And they were actually making money.
Oh yeah, they talked about getting consistent royalties from their KidzKDP books.
That's really encouraging.
It really is. And it shows that, KidzKDP might not make you rich overnight, but
Right.
it can be a really powerful tool.
Yeah, if you use it the right way.
Exactly. But then another review, they were a little more cautious.
Oh.
They talked about, being skeptical of those claims about getting rich quick.
Yeah. Healthy skepticism is always good.
Always. They even compared Warrior Plus,
The platform where they sell KidzKDP.
yeah, to a shopping mall.
Oh, interesting.
They were like, the platform isn't responsible for what's being sold there, Buyer beware.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
This reviewer, they actually said they had some technical issues with KidzKDP.
Like what kind of issues?
With the keyword research, the product research.
Yeah.
They even had some screenshots of error messages and stuff.
Oh, wow. That's valuable feedback.
It is. Shows that no software is perfect, right?
Right. There are always going to be limitations.
Exactly. So, for you listening, if you're curious about KidzKDP, but also a little hesitant after hearing those mixed reviews,
Yeah,
do your own research.
definitely.
The more you know, the better decisions you can make.
Knowledge is power.
And don't forget, we've got a link in the description where you can learn more about KidzKDP.
So see if it's a good fit for you.
Now, I found this blog post, and they had this list of who might benefit from KidzKDP.
Oh, interesting. Who was on the list?
It was a pretty diverse group. Aspiring authors, of course,
Makes sense.
but also stay-at-home parents, teachers, entrepreneurs, digital marketers, even freelancers.
Wow, that's a wide range.
They even gave examples of how each group could benefit,
Like what?
like stay-at-home parents,
Yeah.
passive income while they're, taking care of family.
Right.
Teachers, they could create educational books for their students.
And maybe even make some extra money.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty clever marketing, right?
It is, yeah. They're really trying to show how KidzKDP can fit into different lifestyles, you know?
Make it relatable.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, no matter who you are, KidzKDP can help you achieve your goals.
Right, both creative and financial goals.
But like we always say, it's up to each person to, decide if that's true for them.
Okay, so now I have a question. Does using AI-generated content mean, like, the author is less creative?
Ooh, that's a good question. It really makes you think about AI's role in creative fields.
Right. Are we just, like, telling the AI what to do?
Yeah, becoming toolsmiths.
Or is there still room for, like, real human expression?
Big questions, like what does authorship even mean in this digital age?
One of the sources said that AI tools like KidzKDP could actually be collaborators.
Oh, collaborators, not replacements.
Yeah, it's like having a digital assistant.
Yeah.
They handle the technical stuff, the repetitive stuff.
So the human authors can focus on, like, the storytelling.
Exactly. So maybe it's not about fear or competition.
It's about curiosity and working together.
And who knows what we can create when humans and AI work together.
That's true. It's pretty exciting to think about. Speaking of which, remember that concern about generic content?
Oh, yeah.
One source mentioned Amazon's getting really serious about content quality.
They are?
Makes sense. They want to make sure their customers are getting good stuff.
And this source said, yeah, AI can be useful for getting those initial ideas down.
Yeah, like a starting point.
But you got to add your own voice to avoid getting, like, penalized by Amazon's algorithm.
Right. It can't just be a mass-produced product. It has to be more like, a handcrafted piece of art.
And as Amazon gets better at spotting generic content,
Yeah,
quality over quantity is going to be more and more important.
absolutely. And that's where, human creativity comes in. Using AI as a tool to make you a better creator, not to replace you.
Now let's talk money.
Okay.
One source said they made over $5,000 in a couple of months with KidzKDP.
That's a good chunk of change.
But remember, be skeptical.
Always.
Success in self-publishing, it depends on so many things.
Like what?
Your niche, your marketing, how good your book actually is.
So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Definitely not. It's like any other business.
Right.
You need a plan, you got to be willing to learn, you got to keep getting better.
And you got to provide value to your audience.
Exactly. One last thing. Is KidzKDP legit? Or is this a scam?
A good question.
Especially online, there's always something new popping up.
From what we've seen, it does seem like KidzKDP is legitimate software.
Okay.
It has features, They're designed to help with making and publishing children's books.
But legit doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for everyone, right?
Right.
We've talked about the good and the bad.
Pros and cons.
So it's up to you to decide if it's right for you.
If it aligns with your goals.
If you're curious, we've got that link in the description.
Go check it out, see what you think.
All right, let's move on to the last part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. We'll wrap everything up and leave you with some things to think about.
All right, so as we wrap up our look at KidzKDP, let's hit those key takeaways one more time.
Sounds good to me.
One thing that stuck with me was just how accessible this whole thing is. Like, the fact that KidzKDP was made by someone so young.
It really shows you, the power of tech these days.
Yeah, and that entrepreneurial spirit,
Yeah.
age doesn't matter anymore.
Not at all. If you've got a good idea, go for it.
And speaking of accessible, that price is pretty amazing.
$17. That's nothing compared to some software out there.
I know, right? Especially for publishing software.
So it opens the door for a lot more people.
It does. But, we've got to be realistic. KidzKDP isn't some magic, get-rich-quick thing.
Oh, definitely not. It's a tool, that's all. It can help, but you still got to put in the work.
Right, you need that creativity, that business sense. It's not going to happen overnight.
Exactly. It takes time, it takes effort, and you got to always be learning, always be ready to, adapt.
And we talked about those downsides, too. What if the content ends up feeling kind of generic?
Right. You don't want to lose that unique touch.
Exactly. And that's where we're going to use our own skills, take what the AI gives you, and, make it your own.
Infuse it with your personality, your style. It's like a partnership.
And don't forget, Amazon's always watching.
Oh, yeah. Those algorithms are getting smarter every day.
They can spot that low-quality stuff, so we got to focus on making good content.
Quality over quantity, always.
It's a challenge, but it's also a chance to, step up our game.
Right. Be more creative, find new ways to connect with readers.
Who knows what the future holds? Maybe this whole AI thing will lead to even more creativity.
I think it will. It's an exciting time to be a creator, for sure.
So, to everyone listening,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep learning, keep creating.
And if you want to learn more about KidzKDP, you know where to find that link.
It could be your first step to becoming a children's book author. So happy writing, everyone.